Hello world, and welcome to the Forge. In today's episode of 10-Minute Studies, we'll be going over the spine. For anyone who may be new here, the 10-Minute Studies series is where we spend about 10 minutes to learn as much as we can about a subject. So, I guess today it shall be the spine. We have touched on the spine slightly before, in the series when we went over the neck and when we went over the rib cage, but we have never went into detail or tried to learn the entire spine in its entirety. So to recap on last lesson, this is the rib cage, and of course we have the clavicle and the scapula in the back. There we go. Of course the skull's up here, like so. But that's too sweet. Anyway, I suppose that now. Sorry. Now would be a good time to get the timer started. So just get this set up. So we'll start in 3, 2, 1, bang. Okay. So in today's lesson, I actually have a bit of a plan. I was thinking we could try going through. I did a bit of preparation beforehand and found an interesting resource. That resource being let me just go to it. Zygote. Yes, Zygote Body 3D Anatomy Online. Yes, wonderful. And thankfully, because of the pen, it's kind of easy to control. It might be a little difficult with a mouse, but yes. This seems great because it allows us to see almost all of the anatomy. And if you look over to the left, you can see that we can do various things like add the muscle groups. Like add the muscle. Oh no, can I not drag? Oh no. Oh, okay, well, at least I can touch. Okay, so like we can add muscle groups and such. So it's wonderful, I think. Like so. And we can also hide these, but yes. Today we'll be studying this. So I thought it would be great if we went over this and oh no. Okay. With like this kind of thing. With this tool and see what we could get up to. So yes, it seems quite powerful, so we shall get to that. Anyway, so my initial understanding of the skull, like as I showed before, is if we have a skull up of the spine, I apologize for mispronunciation, of the spine is that it's something like this. So if you have the skull, then it comes out in a C shape that we learned from the neck lesson, then it goes out like this, big curve, kind of like the end of an oval that we learned from the ribcage lesson, so about 2 skulls high, about, and then this little thing, move it up, see, here, shrink the size, okay, and then my guess currently is that it goes down here, and something like this. This is what I know about, what I believe, I currently know about the spine. So, this is where it connects to the sacrum. Sorry. This is probably this bone over here is probably what we will be studying next time. But anyway, today we shall be focusing on the spine. So, let's see what we can get to. So, I guess I shall pull up the reference next to our canvas and see what we can do. So, yes. If we look over here. So, okay. Let's just start with a side view if we can. Okay, so I guess it's essentially similar. You can see that we have the skull up here, okay, like so, and then of course we have the rib cage, a bit smaller. I imagine maybe it's like a slanted oval. That might be better. Anyway, oval, and then we have those bones, and it seems like the rib cage would go the spine would be something like this. It's like a C, but it's a little deeper than I thought, and the skull is a little higher. Yes, those proportions. So it comes inside, goes in, goes like a big bend. The way I've heard it from Peck's anatomy book is little, big, and then smaller and smallest. So little, big, smaller, and smallest. There you go. But it seems like if we were to chop it off, then we'd get something like this, where it ends around almost in a line. Okay, that's good to know. So, okay, a bit of active recall. If we were to draw it from the side view, on this side we would have, going back to the brush, no. Okay, there we go. So if we had the skull up here, really quickly, skull, skull and ribcage, then we would have spine being something like this. It's a little deep, like so, then comes out, then goes in, and then comes out to almost that same line, and done. And then, of course, we have this bone down here. Okay, something like this. That should be good, it seems. Okay, so that's from the side view. So we know that it goes in, out, in, and then out. And this is on the line. I wonder if this is also on the line. No. Okay, so this one is also the furthest out. So if you're drawing them in this, you see the C shape coming back inside, which is the most forward it comes, and then goes out to its farthest back point, and then goes in, and then goes back out to its farthest out point. Furthest out point. Sorry. Yes. And then, of course, we have the other stuff. Moving to middle here, let's try going from our front view. Well, if we can see here, from our front view, this is the spine. Yay! Of course, if you have a person who was spent a lot of their time in their life slanted to one side, then you might get a spine that looks something like this, as opposed to a straight line. Yeah, that's a little straighter. Or even something like this. It's possible. I've unfortunately seen the photos, and my middle school health teacher, a biology teacher, professor, was quite adamant in showing it to us every single day to help instill in us the desire to write our postures. And needless to say, I believe it worked on me. Anyway, even if it didn't work on my classmates, unfortunately. Anyway, so that is the front, and I guess from the 3/4 view, it would just be like from the side, but lessened, so less extreme. So this would be the most forward part, comes in, so that should work. About matches up. But, oh yes, I guess we can also look at how thick each bone is. I mean, it's not too important, but it might be of some importance to somebody, especially if they're using this for medical school study. Yes. So it seems that these bones down here, the lower they get, the thicker they get. That's just something that I'm noticing. So if we were to draw it again, then it would be something like this, where it gets thinner at the top. It gets thinner thicker at the bottom. Okay, and then of course it connects to this bone, which is used for where it connects to the legs and houses other things. So, yes, that seems to be good. I suppose now we should try utilizing this tool. So I noticed this one had something maybe to do with ligaments. And if we see here, it seems like, okay, in the very back. Oh yes, from the back. So if this, sorry, if we look over here, we have a spine, and it connects down here to this muscle, to these bones down here. And it seems like, it kind of smooths out, because I was actually wondering about that. If the spine is made up of a lot of spines, then wouldn't it be quite sharp? But it seems like at least down here, that's covered. Especially down here where, we sit down a lot. There's a lot of, I suppose this might be cartilage, or ligaments, joints, that kind of stuff, that kind of pads it out and smooths it out. So I guess drawing from here, if we look at the skin, then, we can't really, maybe if we show the muscle. Yes, if you can see there, this cartilage part always shows through even when there's muscle. So this is kind of like a way to show that, okay, it's quite smooth there, and I guess the buttocks kind of anyway, if we also look onto maybe, yes, might be good to compare the male and female forms. So if we look at the female form, okay, so the female form is slightly higher, straighter than, there's my brother. So there's the female form, which is kind of straighter, and because of that, it might be more so ladies might be a little taller in this regard. So no, it seems to follow similar principles, except this time it's like more of like straight. Like the furthest out point and the furthest in point are the same. So if you're drawing from the side, then you can go in C shape and then out and then back in all the way to the C shape and then back out, like so. So yeah, that's interesting. Okay, I think that's interesting. From this front view, of course, this is a line, and down here, if we look at the ligaments, it has similar stuff going on. So yes, from the front, we have ligaments. From the back, we have these ligament thingies that kind of round it out, and if we look at muscle groups, then yes, we can see, oh wow, that doesn't, interesting. So I suppose the muscles also, okay, so female bones also seem to have a giant crest at the back. That's interesting. That shows through even through the bones, the muscle. Interesting. That's fascinating. Wait, do males have that as well? Huh. They don't. Oh, okay. I guess they kind of do. So male don't seem to have this thing. We're not studying this, but anyway. Okay, so they seem to have like a sort of crest on the outside. Crest on the outside, and the females, it seems that the crest is a little more stuck together. Anyway, moving on, we shall go on to, I suppose, how muscles work around here. So if we look at the muscles, so muscles seem to be built around like trenches around it. So if you have a back, then I imagine the back would be, if you have like a spine like so, in the back, then you would be able to see muscle on here and muscle on here, which would, if you were shading it in, you would have shadow on here and then shadow on here. So it would be something like this. So, yes. Thank you so much. Okay. Wait, why did I say thank you? That wasn't the end. I apologize. No. Anyway, so it's a bit of active recall to recap. So if we look over here, yes, my brother is drinking some stuff. If we look back here, we can see that we have the spine, and from the spine, we have the skull, and from the skull we have the spine coming downwards, and then that spine is in the most part straight, hopefully, if one has good posture, but otherwise it can be slanted. But ignoring that momentarily, if we draw on the rest of the bones, then we have this. It can be kind of an oval, the rib cage. That's what I like to simplify it as. Then we have this and Chris here. So of course we have the scapula, which are like blades, and of course the clavicles. Anyway, it seems like there's not too much to the spine. It's essentially a C shape, a big C shape, and then in and out. Except in females, the initial C is a little less bent, so they may seem taller. So their heads are held high. Female heads are normally held high, and males on the other hand have a little more bent into them. So their head is a bit more forward. So they kind of, when they go back in the stomach area, thorax area, they don't go all the way out. But for both of them, it seems like they have like the back part. Normally, at least, the back part is perpendicular or in one line with the part at the very end, which connects to the bottom bone. So, what is that bottom bone called? I call anyway, I'm sorry. Yes, and it's like a C, it's like a wiggly S, and I guess that's really almost all of it. I mean, the only way you can see it from the skin is kind of like from here, I imagine. Yeah, so it's kind of like muscles run down from it. Okay, that might be interesting to look at. So if you have this, then the muscles run down right here. Yes, that is an alert. I apologize. It comes down like this, and yeah. So muscles seem to come downward from here. So if you wanted to shade it out, you could do something like this. And this will get brighter, and then darker over here. So muscles come down, maybe in a V shape. At least, hopefully, maybe. And yeah, sorry for droning on for so long, but that is basically it. So, the human spine. Yes, I hope you were able to maybe glean a bit of insight from this. I know I now have a bit of a better understanding of the spine, definitely, especially the part where this one especially, where the spine is in there. That could help with posture. But of course, one thing to remember is, of course, if you'd like to get a lot of gesture into your drawings, I highly recommend moving away from, once have proportions, I'd highly recommend moving on to doing some gesture drawing and paying attention to the spine, because a lot of energy is in the spine, I have found, I think. Where, like, if you have, like, a skull, and no matter what you do, if the spine is kind of, like, rigid, then, like, even if they're doing, like, stuff like this, it can feel kind of like stiff. But if you have active spine, like more, I don't know. If you have a spine that's a little more bent, a little more flowing, then you can really get a lot of action even in like simple poses. So like, oh jeez, well that's like a Pokemon. But, let me if we really quickly show. So you can do something like this. Yes, if you put action into the spine, I found that it really helps. It's just a small gesture tip that I found. But it may not be useful to you, in which case I'm very sorry. Anyway, I suppose that shall conclude today's 10-minute study, and I shall hopefully see you tomorrow or next time with another study. And tomorrow, I believe we shall be tackling this unnamed but quite important bone. If I can get it. No. Okay. Coccyx. Maybe. No, that's not. Oh, okay. Coccyx is just a pit. Anyway, so I shall see everyone tomorrow or next time. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye, everyone. Thank you. Have a nice day. Goodbye.